Hello everyone! They say a picture's worth 1,000 words. Well, they obviously weren't referring to the pictures we'll be showing you today, but these pictures are worth 1,000,000 words. They say we eat with our eyes, but sometimes food rises above mere sustenance. It becomes a heavenly creation, initiated by a stroke of genius that then unfolds in the artist's imagination, which, falling back on years of training and practice, is crafted into reality. Have you ever eaten something so beautiful that, while you may be starving, you can't bring yourself to disturb the artist's creation? You can't imagine it tasting as good as it looks, but then, somehow, it tastes even better. Well, all of these feelings are part of what you'll experience the minute you enter the enchanted restaurant we're reviewing today. You'll immediately feel right at home. The people are gracious and charming, and the food is incomprehensibly breathtaking and delicious. I would even go so far as to say it's beyond compare. Welcome to a beautiful and new exotic world. More than just a dining establishment, it's a culinary wonderland. It's not to be missed. Today, we're taking you to Appetit Tea Lounge. They've been open for less than a year and are already creating quite a buzz. Located in the heart of our amazing Chinatown, their roots are in San Francisco, where 5 or 6 sister locations live. This is their first outside of San Fran expansion, and we are so lucky they decided on Vegas. Their name is a play on words. A palette is an artist's color board, and that makes sense when you see the visual artistry on display and presentation of each dish. But palette is a homophone of the word palate, P-A-L-A-T-E, the term for one's ability to sense flavors. And this also suits this restaurant, as they are all about stimulating, broadening, and shocking your palate. Well, enough said, let's get to the goodies. Here we have a very honest and humble starter. No glitz or glam yet, but still bright, vibrant, eye-opening flavors. The meat is so flavorful and tender. It's been slowly roasted and then pickled in a mixture that has a similar taste to kimchi. They only use the best cuts of beef here, so you can rest assured you're biting into a mouthful of tender beef shank. I've eaten this dish many times before at Taiwanese and Chinese restaurants, and it's usually one of my favorite starters. The beef is not only mind-numbingly good, but it also numbs your taste buds with an alluring sting from the Szechuan peppercorns. And, as a complete surprise, between the cucumber and the beef shank lay a slab of watermelon. Okay, who thought up that combination? Well, whoever, it's a brilliant marriage of flavor. The spicy and sweet play so well together. The cucumbers are also a great fresh burst of flavor that make this a beautiful and refreshing way to begin your meal. There's nothing ordinary about these extraordinary pork soup dumplings. Top them with these beautiful and completely unexpected caviar beads. They start to dissolve on contact with these picture-perfect shoulong bao. It's a divine treat, and also a show as they melt before your very eyes. It's then that you begin to pick up the aroma of acid. Wait, why, they're not a caviar at all, but pops of vinegar that complement these amazing dumplings perfectly. Delicately constructed homemade pastry from scratch. The dough has a wonderfully, almost buttery richness to it, and a slight tartness from the vinegar that offsets the luxurious pork filling. Pure porky goodness on the inside, with an explosion of delicious broth. These are not to be missed. And get used to this. Not to be missed will be a common refrain today. As you all know from watching our videos, I love my tea, and can't go to dim sum without partaking, especially when the restaurant's name is Appetit Tea Lounge. They have a large selection of teas, and I decided on this wonderful chrysanthemum tea. I love the floral notes, and I'm always a big fan of rock sugar. And they have these wonderful teapot warmers, so your tea stays perfectly hot throughout your meal. It's a very nice touch. They have quite the drink menu here. An excellent selection of top wines, such as Camus and Segura, available only by the bottle, but also many good lower-priced by-the-glass wine options. They also have an interesting selection of whiskeys, bourbons, sake, beer, and palate special mixed drinks. I sampled the Purple Sky, as well as the Pink Lychee Martini. Both were fantastic. The purple sky is a delightful and unexpected blend of tequila and honey, and the martini, an odd yet satisfying blend of sky vodka and lychee. I could have downed several of these today, but demonstrated restraint. Anyway, there is assuredly something for everyone on the palate drink menu. Make sure to peek in the back, and you'll see them making this fabulous Peking duck. They have a top secret way of getting the skin so wonderful. I've eaten Peking duck my whole life all over the world, and I can wholeheartedly say that this is one of the best examples I've ever eaten. They have a process to get the skin extremely crispy using a means of refrigeration. The skin is super crisp. When you bite into it, you hear a tremendous crackle and pop. Then the shards of skin dissolve in your mouth, and you get all that wonderfully fatty goodness. Finally, the flavor of the spices that have absorbed into the meat are released. It's a symphony of seasoning. I hope I don't sound crazy, but if you like duck as much as I do, when it's this good, it's almost a religious experience. Everything here is like a work of art, just beautiful. The flesh of the duck is so moist and sweet, and no gamey flavor whatsoever. I love these spring pancakes as well, so thin you can see through them. Wrap your duck in them, then layer your pancake with spring onions, cucumber, and of course, their tremendous homemade hoisin sauce. This is food of the gods, and you'll love it. These are so cute, I almost don't want to eat them. And wow, they taste as good as they look. Your normal dim sum house will have these shaped usually like little footballs. In fact, if you love them as much as we do, and you can't find them on the menu, just ask your server for the little football. They'll usually know what you mean. Here though, these are a crispy fried glutinous dough, and the exterior is perfection. I really don't know what their secret is to making them in this shape, because this particular dim sum almost always has a tendency to overexpand, and you end up with a lot more air than filling. These cute little ducks are completely filled with a fabulously seasoned ground pork filling, no pockets of air at all. The pork is seasoned with what tastes like Chinese five-spice. And feel free to dip them into any of these beautiful homemade sauces they give you. It's best to put a dab or two into each of the little containers on the palette they provide. Here we have soy sauce, cilantro, Chinese mustard, and sriracha. I absolutely love it when restaurants give you a chance to play with your food. I've told you all about our friend Elmer, who judges a place by their chow fun. So we always order this bellwether dish wherever we go. This is an exceptional version of chow fun, and it's above and beyond your wildest dreams. I hate to sound like a broken record, but so far, I'm totally amazed at how great everything is. First of all, they start off with Wagyu beef, and so there's no need to velvet to try to make it any more tender. It's one of the best chow funs I've ever tasted. They really did a great job of employing wok hei to bring out the best in this dish, as the sear can be tasted all the way to its very core, from the beef to the perfectly cooked al dente wide rice noodles. The green onions also give this dish such a great flavor. Yep, yet another dish not to miss here. If I had to pick a favorite dish from any Chinese restaurant, I would pick honey walnut prawns. At palate, this dish comes with a traditional version and an interesting inventive version. Either of them rival the best I've ever had and are a work of art. They're what I'd have to call my new measuring stick, to which I'll compare all others. These traditional ones are a large prawn with a crispy batter and then dipped into the perfect honey walnut sauce. While traditional, they're far from ordinary. The flavor is so intense, and the walnuts are simply perfect. I could be happy to sit and eat a whole plate of these nuts. They're so delicious. Now, onto these more unusual crispy prawns. They taste as if they've been turned inside out and reconstructed in the most mouth-watering little treats you'll ever taste. The outer coating is so crispy, and I've never had anything quite like it. I was told when I asked that it's similar in texture to a Japanese rice ball. The dipping sauce is also fantastic. Just the perfect ratio of sweetened condensed milk, honey, and mayo. These are a must-try. When these magnificent siu mai arrive to your table, you'll notice an obscene amount of truffles atop. Then the pungent aroma of truffle fills the air, and you can almost taste it just from inhaling the earthy scent. They make everything they serve, even the skins. The siu mai are wrapped in a delicate wonton with just the right amount of chew to it. I'm a sucker for anything truffle, and especially shaved fresh black truffle like these beautiful little treasures. The interior is pork, and it's very well seasoned. The flavor of the truffle is so powerful that it overwhelms your senses and gives you a feeling of euphoria. The ground pork filling is so juicy and flavorful that it pairs perfectly with the truffles. This truffle siu mai combination is all the rage at dim sum restaurants these days, but you'll find no better version than here at Palette. I'm so glad these weren't the first radish cakes I ever tasted, because they may have spoiled me for all others. Packed with so much flavor. And I love the XO sauce. If you don't know what that is, it's a relatively new invention. It was first developed in Hong Kong in the 1980s. A mixture of dried shrimp, garlic, chili paste, and onions, cooked until it turns into a rich umami emulsion. The radish cakes here are so well made. You can just taste the daikon radish comes together in a perfect little cake. It always reminds me of an elevated potato pancake. The exterior is very crispy and perfectly fried, and the inside is so tender. But they're firm enough they don't fall apart when you eat them. And again, this XO sauce, phenomenal. I love this dish. Look at this gorgeous crab claw, so ornately decorated. Reminds me of a Christmas ornament, except we get to eat it. You used to see these wonderful claws a lot in the 80s, and they've almost all but disappeared. The cousin of sugarcane shrimp, these are real crab, not just the promise of crab as they are at many Chinese restaurants. The crab and shrimp in these delicious claws are ground together with little more than egg white, used as a binder. All you taste is a spectacularly fresh seafood and the wonderful black and white sesame seeds that coat the exterior and give these a toasty umami flavor. Dip them into any of the sauces. I love the cilantro one, and the sriracha sauce is great on them as well. They stand up on their own, but the sauces here are incredible and hard to resist. I consider this the Tootsie Pop of Chinese seafood. Dig away at the wonderful outer layer to find a hidden surprise within, an actual crab-clawed tip. Inventive, beautiful, and delicious. What else is there to say? Make sure to order this. This is such a clever recipe. A fusion of East meets West. The progeny of a grilled cheese sandwich and shrimp toast marriage. The best of both worlds come forth in these fantastic little packages. Someone's imagination was working overtime on this dish, and we're all the better for it. I love shrimp toast, and I love grilled cheese, so how could this not be one of my favorite things? I totally recommend this dish. I love the glutinous, doughy exterior of these crispy Typhoon shrimp dumplings. They have a surprisingly wonderful chewy texture. The shrimp inside are fresh and tender. Look at all these prawns on the insides, just fully packed. There's a nice hit of spice, but it's not overwhelming, just a refined and subtle heat. What a beautiful sight. The exterior is coated with this great garlic and chili crumb mixture. It tastes almost like a deconstructed XO sauce. There's so much going on in each little bite, and I thoroughly enjoyed this dish. Wow, yet another successful dish. The Wagyu ribeye steak, so wonderfully charred with that great wok hei taste that I love. It's peppery and loaded with rich umami garlic. The bird's nest of noodles are not just a garnish, it goes so well with this wonderful beef and vegetable stir fry. I love the strong soy-based sauce that coats the tender chunks of Wagyu steak. This is a very hearty and filling dish that you'll enjoy sinking your teeth into as much as I did. This is the type of dish I just want to look at and take in. They're so gorgeous, it's hard to bring myself to eat them. Wow, everything about this dish just screams lobster. From the red undertones down to the drawn butter in the little squeeze bottle. Such a sophisticated presentation. The chef, obviously a student of the art of gastronomy. If you're a lobster lover as I am, then this may very well be your favorite dumpling here. I love this little squeezable bottle that's filled with butter. Anytime a dish allows me to play with my food, I'm a happy boy. The dumplings are filled with beautiful, rich little chunks of lobster and butter and a glutinous skin. What could be better than this? Many of you probably already know how much I love lava buns and custard bao. I can't ever pass them up at a dim sum restaurant, and they're always at the top of my list. I've had these before made with charcoal, and it imparts such a profound and unusual flavor to the bun. These, however, are not made with charcoal due to regulations in Las Vegas mandated by the health department. Who knew? Instead, they use black sesame seed paste to color the sweet dough, and the bao is just stunning, with the contrast of the black being a backdrop with the real gold used for decorative purposes. Another dish here at Palette you almost don't want to eat as they're so beautiful. When you bite into them, be very careful as they can be crazy hot and ooze out and burn you. These are a 10 out of 10. The custard is beautifully sweet, rich, and eggy. The dough is so light and fluffy with a fantastic yeasty and sweet flavor. You have to order these. They're not to be missed. I know this may seem an odd comparison, but if you've ever been in an ice cream shop where they make their own ice cream cones, you'll recognize the scent of these when they come to your table. They taste just like they smell, so fragrantly pungent and vanilla-y. These waffles are very popular in Hong Kong. They're street food at its finest. You'd be wise not to miss these. Even if you're full, there's always room for dessert. One word of caution though, they're tough to put down, and as soon as you're finished with them, you'll be craving another few sheets of these wonderful, whimsical waffles. One recommendation does come to mind. These waffles would have been off the charts good if they'd had a chocolate dipping sauce. But I guess that doesn't fit with traditional Chinese cuisine. Well, either way, I just love these. We're so happy you could come along with us today, and we were able to introduce you to Palette Tea Lounge. It's rare to find a place with such beautiful and unusual food that tastes even better than it looks. There were so many standout dishes here today, I'd be hard-pressed to pick a favorite. The Lobster Har Gow, so unique and abundant in rich, buttery lobster flavor. The shrimp toast with cheese were such a creative and different combination that went so well together, it makes you wonder why no one ever thought of it before. We also had some wonderful scallops that were not on the menu. They were a special that day. Make sure to ask your server about the specials they have each day. They always have something innovative not mentioned on the menu. And the Truffle Siu Mai, well, another spectacular taste sensation that again was a special of the day. If I were to pick my dish of the day, I'd have to say it was the honey walnut shrimp. Besides being my favorite Chinese dish of all time, these were unrivaled with both a spectacular traditional version as well as a refreshing and creative version. It's not hard to come up with something different, but it is hard to come up with something different that's every bit as good as the original. And they definitely achieved that with this inventive version of honey walnut shrimp. A round of applause for the chef on this dish. The people here are wonderfully gracious, and the atmosphere is warm and welcoming. Everything about Palette screams class, distinction, and above all else, artistry. This has now become one of my favorite Chinatown restaurants, and a place I'll be sure to tell my food-loving friends not to miss. Let them know if it's your birthday or anniversary. They offer you a free chocolate fondue. Also, until the end of November, if you spend over $100, you get $10 off, and every $50 beyond the first $100 gets you another $5 off. That's a great deal. For sure, we'll be back to Palette very soon. Who knows? Maybe you'll see us there. And make sure to tell them, Let's Eat Vegas sent you. I know we're all guilty of watching YouTube videos and not participating. Please like, comment, subscribe, or even become a VIP member. It means a lot to us, and it helps us grow and to bring you more reviews. Until we eat again, bon appetit.